Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Zach with Android Digest, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Asus C536. Now this Chromebook does also go by the name of CX5, so whether you call it the Asus C536 or the CX5, they are the same device. And this is a new Chromebook that just released not too long ago at Best Buy, and I'm going to let you know what I think about it. I'm going to let you know the pros and the cons of it, and we're going to get into a lot of details in this review. So let's get straight into it and let's get this review going. Alright, so this Chromebook, it is a 15.6 inch screen on this bad boy, and you're not going to see a lot of Chromebooks with a large screen like that. In fact, the last one I can remember is a Lenovo Chromebook that was very, very premium. And outside of that, a lot of those 15 inch Chromebooks are lower in price and also lower in quality. So this Chromebook, it gives you a lot of bang for your buck as far as performance and a lot of things you see in it. So this has an 11th gen i3 processor, it has 8 gigabytes of RAM, so you're going to see a lot of good performance on this. Chrome OS typically doesn't need a lot of processing power, but this has plenty of processing power for all types of different tasks, and it has a nice 1080p screen. It's about 250 nits of brightness, so there's a lot to like when you just look at the spec sheet, and there are a lot of pros, but of course to get down to that $570 price point, they did have to make some compromises. Now if we look at the ports on this device, you're not going to see many compromises there. So you're going to see two USB-C ports, one here, one on the other side. You're going to see a USB-A port, a headphone jack, and you're going to see up and down in the volume and the power button. Now on the other side, you're going to see that other USB-C port here. You're going to see HDMI, and you're also going to see an SD card slot, which is good to see as well. Now on the back of this, you're going to see really big holes for fans. There are some fans in here. You can hear them sometimes, not all the time. It's not super loud and obnoxious. You're going to see all these screws here, by the way. You can open up this laptop. I'm going to show you a picture here of what the insides look like. So not a huge thing. I at least wanted to show this for some of you who are thinking about opening it up. You just have to take off all those screws and you have to carefully pry it open right here on the keyboard deck. But I will warn you, okay, this is for professionals. I don't recommend that everyone does that, and technically that may void your warranty in the eyes of Asus. Now this right here, I believe it's made of aluminum. It's a very, very sturdy material on the screen. So you're gonna see a really nice hinge. It's awesome, the hinge. I mean, it just feels great. It feels extremely sturdy there, but you're going to see sort of a plasticky build on the back. Now, I really didn't like that. The other thing I wasn't a huge fan of is the bezels. So you're going to notice right here, you're going to see there are really big bezels here on the screen. So not only do you have the bezel on the bottom of the screen, you also have this part here on the frame. And because they're so big, I think Asus wanted to cover them up a little. So they put them under the keyboard deck whenever you're actually pulling the device out, putting it on your lap and things like that. But that's a problem because you have this right here, and you have this whole bottom part sort of poking into your legs when you're using it on your lap. So it's not a huge deal. I didn't notice it most of the time, but just be aware that the screen is poking out a little bit, and sometimes instead of feeling the bottom of the laptop, you will feel the screen on your legs. Now, I'm also not a fan of this white either because this white can get dirty. Now, luckily, it is fairly cleanable, so my daughter did put her little spaghetti hands on this, and it got a little bit red on here, but I was able to quickly wipe it off, and it did go away pretty nicely. But it's pretty easy to scuff up white, so I don't really like that choice. But I really do like the black on the inside, but this is sort of a smooth feel on the keyboard deck. Again, it feels a little bit cheap in my opinion, and it can get a lot of fingerprints on here. But one thing I absolutely love is the keyboard itself. It has a ton of travel on the keys. Now Asus says it's 1.4 millimeters of travel, and it feels amazing when I'm typing on this. So I got a phenomenal typing experience using this device. It also has a number pad, which is a big bonus for some of you that really want a number pad. Just keep in mind that because of that, they had to shift everything to the left. They had to shift the trackpad off the center of the laptop. Some of you are going to hate that. And I believe they made the keys just a little bit smaller on the laptop. Now, for a 15.6 inch laptop, I really wouldn't want them to make smaller keys, but I feel like they did. Even though I didn't really notice it, my typing accuracy was almost flawless on this device, so I had a great typing experience, but the keys just feel ever so slightly smaller than a normal keyboard key. And I think that's partially because of this number pad, so keep that in mind. Now again, you see the vents here, you see great ventilation on this, so heat was not really much of an issue when I was using this. Keep in mind there are some minor build quality issues. In fact, my device actually with my touchpad, it did not work very well. Sometimes it wouldn't work with palm rejection, so I'd be typing and I'd notice it would click around. And another issue I had is when you swipe down on it, and I'm going to show a little bit of a quick video here to show you what I'm talking about. So you can see when I was swiping down on it, I wasn't even clicking, just a minor swipe of my finger, and it was making clicking noises. Now, Chrome Unboxed recently released a first impressions video of this Chromebook, and they also had issues with the trackpad, so it looks like Asus is sending out duds. Maybe all of them are duds for all I know, so that is one very big warning that I will give to you. I know it might just be us two that had issues, but you may also have issues with your trackpad as well. Now, if you do get this in the mail and you find it has the same issue, maybe we're going to uncover a bigger issue, but outside of that, the touchpad experience was fairly good. It seemed like a normal touchpad. It's a little bit smooth to use, but everything seemed to work fairly well for me. Again, I just had the minor issue with it making some minor noises off and on. So I know I mentioned a few minor things with the build quality. Just keep in mind that some of these are really, really minor. You might love a number pad on your laptop, and that might be a great thing for you. The keyboard has a ton of travel, so it's really, really good. A lot of you might not care that it has plastic on the bottom, and some of you probably expected that for the price. And some of you, well, it might not feel that bad to have the screen on your lap. In fact, right now, as I have it on my lap, I don't really feel a big issue with it. It was only on occasion if I was sitting in a certain position, I had to tilt it in a certain way. Only then would I actually feel it really digging into my legs. So yes, there are a few minor design issues. Now, a lot of those things are easy to overlook when you look at the display. And for those of you who want a nice big screen, this is it. It's a 15.6-inch display. It's a 1920 by 1080 screen. It looks great. It's got about 250 nits on the brightness on it, so it's not super bright. It's not something I would use in the absolute direct sunlight outside, but it is usable for me. I found I was using it around 75 to 100% most of the time, but it worked great. I didn't really notice a lot of issues. Everything looked very clear and crisp. Because the hinge is very sturdy, it was really great to use it in tablet mode as well. And I love those Android gestures, swiping stuff away. And I was able to watch videos on it. I was able to do some reading on it and scroll through the news and do the stuff I do every day. And everything looked really, really good. The screen was not a big hindrance to me. Now, if you want a brighter screen or a little bit of a better quality screen, you could look at something like the Acer Spin 713, or you could look at something like the Galaxy Chromebook 2. But this screen was good enough for me and I didn't have a lot of issues with it. Now, where this laptop really shines is performance. So this has a good screen and it has great performance. This has 11th gen processors in it, and you can go from i3 to i5 to i7. Right now, I only see the i3 model listed at Best Buy, and it has 8 gigabytes of RAM. So the i3 model is what I tested, and everything was buttery smooth. It also has Xe graphics. Now, they do list them as Intel graphics, just plain old boring Intel UHD type of stuff. But in reality, they are the lower end version of Xe graphics, but they still work great. It works better than last year's models with the 10th gen i3 processors. So the graphics portion of this laptop is great. I can't tell you how many times I had countless tabs open and had no hiccups because I really never had any hiccups with it. I even edited video and I had issues with this on my Galaxy Chromebook 2, but on this laptop, I was able to put 2 or 3 tracks of video in at the same time, put them on top of each other, and I didn't have any hiccups when it transitioned between the 2 or 3 tracks. So video editing was smooth in Linux through Kdenlive, and again, my Galaxy Chromebook 2 had a lot of issues whenever I put 2 or 3 tracks in at the same time. Also, with this having NVMe storage and starting out at 128 gigabytes, the SSD was very, very smooth. Files transferred very, very quick onto this device as well. So this has quick file transfers. It is buttery smooth. It is quick. And when you see the benchmarks on this, man, this laptop benchmarks so well. So Chrome Unboxed actually had an article on this where they actually had benchmarks going on this, and they found that this laptop benchmarked better than i7 processors or i5s from previous generations. Now that might not seem like a big deal to you, but you have to understand that i7s or i5s, they have more cores. They're normally much, much faster. So to see this i3 processor just blow them out of the water, just having way better benchmarks, the performance on this cannot be explained enough. Somehow it is optimized so well with Chrome OS. Maybe it's because this doesn't have a lot of heat, maybe it's because it's in a bigger body. I really don't know. Maybe the graphics played a part in some of these benchmarks, but no matter what you could say, man, this benchmarked phenomenally when compared with other Chromebooks from previous generations. So I had a phenomenal experience with the performance. This is absolutely great. This also has phenomenal battery life. This has 8 to 10 hours, I'd say, in normal use. Now you might get 6 if you're doing some crazy heavy stuff. I normally got around 8 or 9 hours of battery life. It's a 57 watt hour battery. It's a 3-cell battery, but it's very good as far as battery life, and I had no issues with it. And I was very surprised when I heard these speakers. These are very high quality speakers, so they don't just have the Harman Kardon name, they actually have really good sound quality. These speakers were loud, they sounded great, and pretty good for the price. So when you see these speakers, they're not going to be the best in the world, but they are some of the best I've heard out of a $600 or less Chromebook. So let's summarize all this for a moment. This laptop gives you a 15.6-inch screen. It gives you a good screen. Maybe it's not the best in the world, but it's still good. You get phenomenal performance. I'm talking amazing performance for the money. You get great battery life. So the only real issues, a lot of them seem to be fairly nitpicky. We're talking about having a number pad. We're talking about things being shifted from the right to the left, or the fact that this was made in white and can get scuffed up, or the fact that this is plastic. Those are very minor things and can be somewhat nitpicky. So if I'm going to summarize this review, I'm going to say this. If you want a large 15.6-inch screen, if you want a very large screen on your Chromebook, you can't do much better than this because there are not a lot of good Chromebooks out there with large screens. So if you want great performance and a great large screen, and you at least want a screen that's adequate as far as the brightness and things like that, then this Chromebook will definitely be for you. But if you're someone that focuses more on the build, right? You want something that feels good in the hands. You want something made of aluminum. I'm someone that wants that. I don't want a Chromebook that weighs over 4 pounds, and this is very heavy. It's over 4, I believe it's over 4.5 pounds even. If you don't like the fact that the keyboard is pushed over a little bit, maybe you don't want a number pad in your Chromebook, those things could be minor issues to you and they could really bother you. So if you're someone that's focused more on the build and having something that looks really nice, you want something that's lighter in the hands, you want something that feels better on your lap, or you want something that's more travel friendly, then no, this will not be for you. So if you're wanting a laptop with a little bit of a better build, I recommend something like the HP Chromebook 14C. They're coming out with a new generation of it, so be careful not to buy the old one. The old one had eMMC storage. Well, this new one has 128 gigabytes of NVMe storage. It has the same i3 11th gen processor. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM. It has the same type of screen because it's 250 nits with the same resolution. So if you don't mind going down 1.5 inches or so in screen size, that 14-inch Chromebook is going to be great. It's going to be lighter, and it's going to have a little bit of a better build with similar performance. But that laptop retails at about $650. Now I understand sales are going to come on that. HP typically is great about sales on their Chromebooks. So when we think about all that, you have to ask yourself, what is important to you? Do you want a large screen? Do you want a big Chromebook with great performance? And if that's your desire, if that's what you want, then this is a great device for you. But if you want something that's a little smaller, a little lighter, and you want something a little more portable that has a little bit of a better build, then something like the HP Chromebook is going to be a little bit better for you. Of course, I think the best deal out there right now on any Chromebook is probably the Acer Spin 713, which has an i5 processor, so it's going to be very fast. It's got a 2K screen as far as the resolution goes. It's also over 400 nits of brightness, so it's going to be brighter than this, and it's going to have a decent build as well. So if you're looking around, it's not the perfect build out there, but it's got a lot of great things. I'd say it's a really good bang for your buck, and so would the HP as well, especially if it goes on sale. Hopefully this review has helped you. Please give me a like and give me a sub. Check the links in the description if you want to buy anything. I am an affiliate, so I may earn a commission if you click a link and buy something. But also keep in mind, I've kept it real through this review. I've tried to keep it honest and help you find the best bang for your buck. So please support me. Follow me on Twitter as well, twitter.com/digestandroid. And yeah, if you need anything, leave a comment. I am very responsive there. I'd be happy to help you find a good deal for yourself. So thanks again. Have a great day. And yeah, stay safe in this crazy world.